Hello, everyone. It's 3 o'clock. We'll be starting our webinar on application of Net Zero Industry Act for heat pumps in France. Please, could you, my colleagues, could you tell me if you can hear me all right? Sound is working?
Yes.
Perfect.
All right, thank you. So before we start, in a couple of words, I would like to remind you the good practice guidelines for webinar. Please note that this event is recorded. All your microphones will be on mute, and if you need to discuss something, please use the feature questions and answers to submit the questions. All questions are welcome. We will take some time at the end of this webinar in order to reply as many questions as we can. We will select questions to be answered live, but if your question is not addressed, we will follow up. And after the webinar, we will, of course, send to all the participants the slides that you'll be seeing today, and we will address the questions that have not been answered during the Q&A in writing. So there will be 4 speakers today. Morgane Lajeunesse will be speaking for the head of thermodynamics, residential and light commercial department. Mustafa Aditen for commercial and industrial, Loris for LCPHP in particular, and myself for NFPAC. So the objectives of today's webinar is to present the regulations, then a couple of words, because I'm sure that all of you are already acquainted with what it is, but just to summarize the context, then we will dwell more in detail on its application in France, including compliance criteria and what we are doing in order to support you in the deployment of this. So I will talk more in detail about different incentives, CE and HP bonus. What are the requirements? What is the calendar? So how it will be implemented in France? What proof of compliance will be needed, and what's already done within our certifications as proof of compliance. Then I'll brush briefly through the application platform interface. I'm sure that many of you have followed the DGO's presentation last week, but I'm sure it will be useful to get a reminder about it, and then we will go to the Q&A session. All right. So to start with, just a couple of words. I will not go in details about Net Zero Industry Act in Europe, but for context, just to understand that it's not a regulation simply. It's a strategy, and its main goals, 2 main goals, is achieve climate objectives and strengthen Europeans' autonomy. That's why they have listed in an NZIA, they have listed the number of strategic technologies to be covered, but and the heat pumps are listed as part of these strategic technologies. So by 2030, the general target will be that at least 40% of annual requirements of net zero technologies should be manufactured in Europe, but for heat pumps, it's higher than that. It's estimated around 60%, because, well, the estimation comes from the annual capacity plan. So today it's 31 HRM for EU-based plants, but if Europe introduces more incentives for this, we estimate that the figure can reach 73%. Again, for general European deadlines, this secondary legislation has been published in May. That defines the rules. You will have the links in order to read the texts. And what is said in the regulation is that by December of this year, all member states are required to apply non-price criteria, that is sustainability and resilience, to at least 1/3 of their energy procurement, and then different countries decide different countries decide in which way they are going to implement this. So in France, we will be looking at two biggest incentives that are implemented this, that I'm sure you're again all aware about, is CE and Bonuspack. So CE is an incentive that exists since a while. You are aware of it, you are aware of the requirements. Just again to remind, these are the eligibility criteria for this. So performance, we'll be looking for ETS thresholds hitting for different applications. But these bonuses concern different types of heat pumps, and government has decided to go and to up on these bonuses with what they call bonus pack. So for start, they will only start, we're only starting with two types of bonuses. So one bonus will concern air-to-water heat pumps for residential buildings, and the second type will concern water-to-water, ground-to-water heat pumps for individual residentials. Why is it important? So the amounts, what the reform has brought is that these amounts of governmental incentives are no longer uniform, and they will depend on the levels of the thresholds for ETS. So the higher the levels for ETS, the higher is the incentive, which favors obviously high-performing HPs, heat pumps, and indirectly reinforces consistency. So how it is translated? Today, we are all aware that the government introduces what they call coup de pouce chauffage, bonification C2E, which can be loosely translated as heating boosts into English, or bonus pack. So as of today, again, this heating boost only applies to these two types of technologies that you see on the screen, knowing that it is a testing period for the government and that other technologies will follow. It consists in bonus factor. So the heat pumps that go to the heating boost incentive will have a 5 times bonus factor for the final users who will install it, and it will apply for the projects that date July 2026 and further. What is important here, and what has not been used up to now in CE, is so we stay again with the same criteria of performance as in CE, but the government adds 2 additional criteria, so resilience criteria and the place of assembly. So what's important to see is that we didn't know until recently what exactly the place of assembly will be. So we now have the confirmation that it will be European Economic Area, not only European Union. And these incentive will, up to now, again, so it's the first stage of implementation of the strategy, will concern monoblock and split heat pumps. I have read the definitions of split pumps, so for the moment it's clear that the multi-splits are not covered yet, so monoblock and simple splits. And what will be the criteria is that for monoblock, we will have, well, the manufacturer will have to prove the place of the final assembly of refrigeration circuit within the European Economic Area. And for split heat pumps, it's a final assembly of the refrigeration circuit either of outdoor or indoor unit. So the legislation precises that indoor unit to be considered for this incentive must contain at least the condenser. So then it is considered as a part of refrigeration circuit within European Economic Area. And other criteria that are to be checked are leak tightness checks, pressure tests on the refrigeration circuit, and qualification of welders. So, as we will see, this final criteria for HP bonus will be the place of assembly of, like, final assembly of the heat pump. I had questions concerning how it should be implemented. So I prepared the preliminary calendar here of implementation stages. Please be aware that the calendar is indeed preliminary, it's not fixed yet. French government is in discussion with the European Union on the exact dates. But so for the moment we are with this, but it's not fixed. So what will happen is that next week we'll start the preliminary phase of application for bonus pack. So they will open the online platform for manufacturers. It will be led by ADEM in order to start the examination of applications. So you will be able to submit your applications, but for the moment it's under the call of expression of interest, which means that it's not obligatory. So for the moment the government uses this to test the platform and to gather the feedback and to see whether any evolution or changes are needed to be introduced into the platform according to your feedback and according to how the teams can manage. So the scheme will work through approval orders, which means that the manufacturer will apply for the bonus pack, will submit the documentation. Once its documentation is reviewed, then they are the eligible models of the heat pumps will be published via official documentation and on this site. What's important to know is that also the approval will go through 2 stages. So once you have applied for the approval for the scheme, there will be the first screening by ADEM. It will last for 2 months approximately, and there will be, once the ADEM has pronounced their opinion on each model, then it will go into the Ministry of Ecological Transitions and go through a second approval, mostly on the basis of ADEM's opinion. And once it's approved, it will be published on this platform. So we encourage you to start applying early, because it means the earlier you apply, the more time you will get to the treatment, because in July this scheme will become obligatory. So until July, it's not obligatory. But the government told us that they expect a lot of applications around July, well, anyway, in summer, and that it will create a bottleneck effect, and that that might influence the times for the review of your applications. So please, if you have already the capacities, when the platform starts, be ready and don't wait until July. So once the platform opens, what should be done? There is some to confirm the compliance and to confirm that your equipment is eligible to this bonus pack. So please note that approval is done by model, not by range, not by brand. So each model will need all the data to be filled in. So we understand that it will require some effort, but for the moment, it's really manual work. So that's another reason why we encourage you not to wait until July. So the data to be filled in will be brand under which this model will be sold, the range name, whether it is certified, well, according to which program your model is certified, what's the certification body. You will also need to fill in the certificate number and validity of your certificate, and minimal technical data. What you see on the screen, it's type of heat pump, usage, usage meaning heating and cooling, cooling and hot water, etc. Type of refrigerant, capacities at 35 and 55 degrees, COP and ATIS. And you'll have to fill in the site address. Once this is filled in, you will have to upload the documents. For the moment, again, these documents are very, very light, so you'll have to upload your certificate and the audit report of your certification, which important thing should be less than 12 months old. In case of your audit, your factory has been audited more than 12 months ago, you will need a confirmation from your certification body certifying that the new model is well manufactured on this site. So that's for the documents. I'd like to check whether right. Okay. So
far there is no question, Olesya, so you can, yeah, go.
I can go. Okay, thank you. So what we would like to explain you now, it's what we can do for to support you, what's already in place, and what are the next steps that we count to introduce in order to stay aligned with this new legislation. So today, what's already in place is that in our database, we already confirm the compliance of model characteristics, so the data that you fill in will be certified. Since the beginning, so compliance of production sites for monoblock units and splits, which means that all our certificates today mention that the sites where the units are manufactured will continue with this. Maybe we will require you to be a bit more stringent about filling in the declaration lists, but this stays here. And we are already compliant with the 12 months audit report requirements, because in NF 414, NF scheme, in HP scheme, the audits are annual. And during these audits, we already check the factory testing, mechanical strength test, brazed joint leak tightness, and qualification of welders. So if you are certified with an F414, then you have nothing to worry about. You already have all the documents that are compliant. What we were doing to prevent next steps is really like cosmetic addition on the audit reports. So we'll just restructure them so that the compliance is more explicit, so that you don't get any questions from the people who will be reviewing your applications. And we are working also with the government's IT department in order to establish an API connection so that the data entry is not manual, but that you can pre-upload your certified data to the platform already. So when it's done, or if it's done, it will be depending on the government. We will also, this will be not a mandatory, it will be done with your agreement for data transmission, the same way as we're doing today for transmission of your data to April. So when you'll be making your declarations, you tell us whether you want us to transmit your data to the government or not. Right, so that's for an FPAC. And there is some thing to do for LCPHP, and I leave the microphone to Mustafa in order to explain what's going on LCPHP.
Okay, thank you, Alessia, and thank you so far for the presentation. My voice is okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So for LCPHP, again, the requirements are the same, of course. Right now, I can say that we should be happy that ADEM is also open to accept LCPHP certification as a ECP mark in the scope. But of course, considering the audit scope of LCPHP program, we need to do some improvements. So far already in place, I can say all the compliance and on the model characteristics and performances, refrigerant information will be enough. But those who are the participants of the program knows better that we audit only one factory per year. We are not auditing all the factories. And also our audit scope is quite different than the NF or HP key mark. We are not focusing on the, let's say, QMS system or some details about the production. We are just auditing today the units itself, what is produced, what is sold, what is being sold recently, and so on. So in order to be in, let's say, this tight time schedule, we will of course evaluate and improve our certification rules, and we are going to introduce optional bonus pack requirement included audits for the participants who would be interested, so that we can apply all of these checks. And of course, each participant can ask to have audits in any manufacturing or production sites from where they would like to declare their models to this platform. And as I told you, this will be done within this tight time schedule. So all the participants will be, of course, announced when we are ready, and we will make it ready, I guess, by mid-January. These new, let's say, introductions, optional introductions. And the other point, I guess we will have a question for this, because it is not explicitly indicated in these standards or documents. The capacity threshold will be a question for LCPHP, considering that we are certifying mostly commercial and industrial products in the program. So today it is really not explicit in the documents. It is only explicit that these incentive schemes are covering the residential buildings or individual residential buildings. So I would say maybe 30, 40 kilowatt or maybe even more, but it is not explicitly indicated. We are checking also some question marks still with the, let's say, incentive owners. And I guess only one slide will be enough from my side. If you have any questions, of course, I'll be here. Thank you again, Alicia, for all the presentation.
Thank you, Mustafa. So that's all today for the what's done with the certification. I will brush briefly through platform interfaces and to explain a couple of data there also, and we'll go to question and answers. So these platform interfaces are done from the incentive owner presentation of the platform that was made last week. Please note that the platform is still in testing mode. Some of the changes are already under implementation, some yet to be implemented, and some will come later on after the 1st of December when the application will start and when the incentive owner will start to gather the feedback. So the interface, you'll have here an overview of login page here, and once you log in into your account, you will have this type of interface here. So the login credentials and accounts will be created by a DEM, sent to you, and you will have two types of accounts. Master account and then user accounts. So master accounts will be able to create user accounts there. The difference between them will be that the user account will be able to fill in the data and the master account will also be able to create other accounts. So each application, as I told you, will be done by model. You'll have reference that's applied by the platform, assigned automatically, your brand, model reference, the status of each application, and possible actions on this. Here are the screenshots of application. So here is all the data that I have listed you earlier in the presentation for model identification. So the name of the range, the certification, the brand, etc., and all the technical characteristics. Please note this part, which is in red. So you will enter the minimal capacities, the other technical data, and the platform will do a consistency check against the CE requirements with the minimal thresholds. And if there is a typo or if the required data is not consistent with what the incentives requests, you will have a warning sign on this. So here how the declaration of assembly site will look. You'll have to upload then the audit reports. And once you have uploaded everything, you will have a possibility to change the information of the model. If something's wrong, if your application is rejected because of insufficient data, so you can go through request of modification and upload other documents for this. Again, just to be sure, check very well your data before you upload them, because as I have mentioned before, that the treatment of your management of your application will take 3 months. So if you have made a mistake, a typo, and because of that your application has been rejected, when you start the modification, your 3 months count will start again. And here are the screenshot. Here is the screenshot of the changes that are already being implemented into the platform. So they will check again, modify the thresholds for COP at IS. Again, as I said, that they should be compliant with the requirements of CE. some typos, modification, and the test results. And what will be implemented very rapidly by the end of this year or in the beginning of the next year, and that the incentive owner IT is already working on is so today when you apply the brands that belong to this or that manufacturer are entered by ADEM. So if you see some missing brands or some typos again in the brands, you'll have to contact the incentive owner in order to modify this. But in the beginning of the next year, you'll have the possibility to work on your brands by yourself. So add new brands or correct the names. Again, in December, as I told you, it's call for interest. So the data that you will submit will start to be treated, managed by the incentive owner, but it will not be published yet. But the first version of this public page will appear in the beginning of the next year. So again, if you have submitted your information early, you will be able to start to communicate on your compliance starting from the beginning of the next year when your data is published on the public site. So they are, as we mentioned, we're also working with them for our certified data import, so that some part of information is already pre-filled for you. They're also working on connecting with EPREL database, so that your EPREL ID will be pre-filled within the system. And again, up to now, as I mentioned, all the accounts will be created by them, but what they want to do is that to allow you to create your accounts independently. So that's it for the platform. If you have any questions for this, please don't hesitate, use Q&A feature and please ask the questions. I have already,
Yes.
Yeah, we have questions.
Yeah, there's already one question.
Right.
In case of product made in two sections and they are not produced in the same site, how can we manage this information? Like for, yeah.
I didn't understand the beginning. Could you read it again, please?
In case of product made in two separately, and they are not produced in the same site, how can we manage the information, I guess, related to the declaration of factories?
Right.
On
So
the platform.
there will be two inputs for this. So when on this platform, when you will be entering the address of the manufacturing sites, you see you can enter the address and add another manufacturing site. So you'll be able to show it here. And once you have shown it here, in order to prove the compliance, when you upload your documents, you'll have to upload all the site audit reports from all the fabrication sites. I hope it is clear. If it is not, please ask follow-up questions. Do we have something else?
There are
Marianne,
other.
Also, yes.
Yes, there are two other questions. If the factory is not yet declared or audited, yes, sorry. Confirmation of certification body is good enough, or this confirmation only work for new model in audited factory? And could this also work for brand name products?
So it only works for the factories that are already audited and want to add additional models to it. So if your factory has not been audited yet, so you have until July to get it audited. And for brand models, for brand names, you will have to upload the audits of your manufacturing sites. Well, sorry, for your OEM and manufacturing sites.
And also after the 1st of July 2026, can we still apply to be included in the list, or the portal will be closed? And how often do the list is updated?
All right. Now, of course, you will be able to apply starting from July. It's just that the government expects that the waiting time will be longer because they expect that a lot of application will come in June or July or August. So that's why they encourage you to start earlier. But if you're not ready, it's absolutely not a problem. Just be aware that it might mean that your application will take longer. So that's for the timeline. And as for the update, so as your applications will be treated by ADEM and then they will be treated by the ministry, what will happen is that once per month they will publish an official document with a list of approved models. So to reply to your questions, after that, the models will be published also on the public website page, but the update will be done once per month.
Okay, so for the time being, there is no more questions, but I suggest we go through the already listed questions that that you have, Alicia, and then we come back on the new questions.
All right. All right. So I have gathered also some questions before our webinar, and I tried to summarize the most frequent questions here to explain how it functions. So the platform, the language of the platform is now in French. The site owner has not foreseen for the moment doing it in English, but they indicated that they were open to translate it and create an English language version if there are enough requests from the participants for this. So, but for the moment it's French. For the applications, when you upload the documents, what language is it should be? So up to now, the again, the information that we have that is documents in English are accepted. However, if something is unclear for the reviewer of your application, they might request you to provide a translation in French. So then how to create a manufacturer's account. So all the accounts are created up to now again by ADEM. They should be contacting you shortly. They have created a list of manufacturers and brands that have been gathered from different sources, from us, from industry associations. But if by any chance you don't receive this, please feel free to contact them, manifest yourself, and require to create a manufacturer's account for you. Then next question is, what's the approval timeline? So as I said, approximately 3 months. So 2 months for a DEM review and 1 month for the ministerial review and publication of approvals. But again, be aware that if they require your translation or some additional documents, these might lengthen your application and approval timeline. Next question, can data be modified after approval? So the answer is yes. Once your documents have been approved and published, and if for some reason you needed to modify the data of your model, you can go through modification submission request. What happens through this time? So it's 3 months. If your model have been approved, so during these 3 months, it stays published as approved on the official site and stays in the governmental lists with the data that has been initially shown. And once modification is accepted and validated, then they will update your data on the site. Then what we're doing if the documents are rejected. So again, you can submit corrected additional documents through modification submission to prove the compliance. And there was a question, can a documentation be shared among the models? So as we know, the certificates are done via, the certification is done by range, so it would be interesting to have a list of already uploaded documents and then you can just use it to attach to a new model. So this feature is not available yet, but it has been already notified to the IT department, and this function is already under development. Then I had a questions about format restrictions. So last week, when the government has presented this scheme and the portal, they said that they will only accept PDFs without encryption and without electronic signature. But since this time, the tests have been done. So the documents with electronic signature, like audit reports, have been tested. They are going through the controls without any problems. So the documents with electronic signatures today are accepted, just not with encryption. So that's the most recent development. Yeah, so what to do if a heat pump is assembled at multiple sites? I already replied to this question. Batch upload. So as I already told, the upload, well, the entry today is manual, and the batch upload is not possible for the moment. But again, this feature is already under development. And the last question that I had is whether there is a possibility of direct transfer by us to a DEM database. So we are in contact with them. We are working on the possibility of connection and data transfer, but it's not in place for the moment. Right, so that's it for me. Do we have any additional questions?
Yes.
Yes, we do. So if a heat pump is manufactured in our European site, but then transformed into a different, I'm not sure what it means, product with a different product name in another European site, there will be no link between the factory audit and the certificate, as the product names, SKU numbers will be different. How can this be managed?
That's a very good question. I need to check it with them. We will note this question. We'll check it with the incentive owner, and we'll come back to you in writing for this. Right. Do we have some other questions?
Not new. Feel free to ask your questions in the chat, so that we'll be able to answer you.
Right. So,
let's wait for a few minutes, maybe if we have some new questions. And
yeah, sure. I'll just say, please take your time at the questions while waiting for them. I'll just say that please note that INICLIMA and as member of Eurovent Industry Association are here to represent you manufacturers to the French public authorities. They are here also to inform its members about the developments in France and Europe. So they're here to help you if you are a member and if you need your voice heard by the incentives. Right.
Alicia, there is a new question.
Yeah.
Is there an indication of total amount allocated for this scheme?
There is, but I don't have the figures in mind. I'll check.
So we'll come back to you as well with the answer.
So that's it for us for the presentation. If you think of some questions, please feel free to reach out. You have all our contacts here. Don't hesitate to drop a message. We're here to help you with clarification with all of the schemes, and we'll come back with the questions where I was not able to reply today. We will check it with the incentive owner and give you in writing, and by the end you will also receive during next week the slides that we have presented today.
Before leaving, I guess we have another new question, maybe.
Yeah.
If it is possible.
Yeah, sure.
So following up the brand name products, will it be another audit, or could we use the OEM audit report and certification body confirmation?
No, you should be able to use the audit report and certification body confirmation. However, we still need to clarify how to establish the link between the brand name and OEM within the scheme here. So this is the suite, the follow all the questions on the brand name, and I'll make a general reply to it. All right. So then that's it for today. I thank you very much for being present, for asking questions. Again, if you haven't thought about the question, but it comes up earlier, feel free to reach out. We're here for you, and have a great afternoon and weekend, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.